I was born and raised Catholic. I was really devoted. I would go to church, I would read my Bible, I would go to Bible studies. My mom decided to stop going to that group, and she stopped going, so I stopped going. With me not having a reason to go to church anymore, I just stopped believing in a way. This past June 2017 was my high school graduation, and that same week on a Saturday my mom left for the entire summer. And my dad had moved out during Christmas before that summer. So I had no parent supervision the entire time. Basically all day I would stay home. I had no one to talk to. I had high school to put me through. I had my school, my sports to keep me distracted. And when I finally was alone, I realized I didn't like it. I was sad all the time. My mom finally came home and she told me the truth about why my parents had split up, and it just broke me. That was when the hatred started, the resentment started, and that's when I didn't want to see them at all. Eventually, I got to a point where I couldn't handle it anymore. And my sister one day told me to go to Harvest Crusade with her, the concert. And when the song Tell Your Heart to Beat Again came on, I broke down crying. And that's when I realized I needed to come back to God. So I had a friend who came to South Hills, and when I came to her services, it was different, but it was a good different. I liked it and I felt like I could belong there, so I started coming. We were taught that God is love, and He's not anything evil. He's not hatred, He's not corruption, He's pure. And what I was giving out to my family was just that hatred, resentment. When you're with God, you feel loved. In order to be closer to Him, I can't keep hating everybody. And so that's what I did. I forgave and I loved my family, and I realized that anything that you do with love, God is there. Today after church, we had baptisms, and I was like, wow, I haven't been baptized. But I told Sierra that, and she was like, you never been baptized? And I was like, no. And she's like, you should do it. I was like, maybe not. And then Pastor Andy, you were like, one more, and then that's when I went, and then Pastor Andy baptized me.
So when we started the Riverside campus just a few months ago, we started with the dream and with the intention of reaching people with God's love, people who were lost and needed hope, people who didn't know Christ. And the story you just heard Alicia tell is a perfect example of why we need more churches and why South Hills has this heart to start new campuses. When our campus launched, what made it possible is people giving to Beyond Our Walls. Because without that support, without that financial resource, we just don't have the ability and the mechanism to start new campuses. And so thank you so much for the way that you give and being a part of reaching people and helping us start campuses. Because of your generosity in giving to Beyond Our Walls, when we start campuses, people like Alicia can experience God's love and then pass that on to the people in their family. And so thank you so much for being a part of her life-changing story and so many life-changing stories like that.